She was the most famous woman in the world, a fearless pilot who dared to conquer the skies. But on a quiet morning in July 1937, Amelia Earhart's voice crackled over the radio one last time and then vanished forever. No wreckage, no distress signal, no answers. To this day, the world is still asking, what happened to Amelia Earhart? Amelia Earhart wasn't just a pilot. She was a pioneer, a symbol of courage and independence in a time when aviation was still a dangerous frontier. Born in 1897 in Atchison, Kansas, Amelia grew up fascinated with adventure. She wasn't the type to stay grounded. By the 1920s, she was breaking barriers, becoming the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic in 1932. Newspapers called her Lady Lindy, comparing her to Charles Lindbergh. But to millions, she was much more proof that women could soar as high as men, both literally and figuratively. By the mid-1930s, Amelia was at the peak of her fame. But she wanted more than records. She wanted to achieve something no woman had ever done, a flight around the entire world. In 1937, she set out on what would become the most ambitious journey of her life. The plane was a Lockheed Electra 10E, specially modified for long-distance flights. Alongside her navigator, Fred Noonan, Amelia departed from Oakland, California, in June. The plan was bold, a 29,000-mile journey circling the globe near the equator. For weeks, the journey progressed with incredible success. They touched down in South America, Africa, India, and Southeast Asia. By early July, they had already covered 22,000 miles. Only 7,000 remained. Amelia and Noonan landed in Lae, New Guinea, their second-to-last stop. Their next destination, a tiny speck of land in the Pacific called Howland Island. Just 2 miles long, Howland was difficult to spot even with today's technology. But for Amelia, it was the key to completing her dream. On July 2, 1937, at 10 a.m., Earhart's Lockheed Electra took off from Lae. The flight was expected to last about 20 hours. The U.S. Coast Guard cutter Itasca was stationed near Howland Island to help guide her in with radio transmissions. But almost immediately, things began to go wrong. Radio communication was difficult. Amelia could not hear the ship clearly. Navigational charts may have been slightly off. And without modern GPS, the challenge of finding a tiny island in the vast Pacific Ocean was like finding a needle in a haystack. At 7:42 a.m., Earhart's voice came over the radio. "We must be on you, but cannot see you. Fuel is running low, been unable to reach you by radio. We are flying at 1,000 feet. It was a chilling message." Minutes later, another transmission. "We are on the line 157,337. We are running north and south." And then, silence. Amelia Earhart and Fred Noonan vanished into history. Despite immediate search efforts, no trace of the Electra was found. The largest naval search in history at the time scoured 250,000 square miles of ocean. But the results were the same: nothing. Amelia Earhart was declared legally dead in 1939, but her disappearance sparked endless theories and with them, one of the greatest mysteries of the 20th century. Some believe the Electra simply ran out of fuel and crashed into the ocean near Howland Island. With no wreckage recovered, the plane would have sunk to the depths of the Pacific, hidden forever. But others argue Amelia didn't crash, she survived. One theory suggests she landed on Gardner Island, now called Nikumaroro. In the 1940s, skeletal remains were discovered there, but at the time, scientists dismissed them as belonging to a man. Decades later, a new forensic study suggested they may have actually been consistent with Amelia's build. Alongside the bones, fragments of a woman's shoe and pieces of a plane were found. Could this have been Amelia's final resting place? Another theory suggests a darker fate. Some believe Earhart and Noonan were captured by the Japanese military, who controlled many Pacific islands at the time. According to this theory, they crash-landed in the Marshall Islands and were taken prisoner. Witnesses later claimed to have seen a woman and man resembling Earhart and Noonan in Japanese custody. Was Amelia Earhart executed as a spy, or did she die in captivity, far from home? And then there is perhaps the strangest idea, that Amelia Earhart returned secretly to the United States under a new identity. A woman named Irene Bolam, a banker in New Jersey, was accused of being Amelia in disguise. Bolam denied it, and DNA evidence later ruled her out, but conspiracy theorists continue to whisper about hidden identities and government cover-ups. Over the years, expeditions have tried again and again to solve the mystery. From ocean floor sonar scans to archaeological digs on Pacific islands, countless experts and adventurers have devoted their lives to finding the truth. In 2018, a team using deep-sea drones thought they had located the wreck of the Electra, but the evidence remains inconclusive. Amelia's disappearance has become more than just a question of aviation history. It is a symbol of human curiosity. Why do we still search for her? Perhaps because Amelia Earhart represents more than just a missing pilot. She represents courage, the pursuit of dreams, and the risk of venturing into the unknown. To this day, no one knows for sure what happened on that fateful July morning. Was it a simple crash, a survival story cut short, or something more sinister hidden in classified files? What we do know is this: Amelia Earhart's name still inspires, her mystery still captivates, and perhaps that's why we can never stop searching.